All right, welcome back to the Spinnin Backfist MMA show. It is Robbie Fox, Jack Mack, Big Ev, and Max Holloway in New York City for a bit of a press tour, a bit of a media tour. You had some stuff going on, some seminars going on this week. Do you like doing seminars?
That was my first seminars, bro. Actually.
Oh, really? First ones ever?
Yeah, my first seminar in New Jersey, and we got one coming up this weekend in Baltimore, Maryland.
So what do you think of the experience?
I loved it, bro. I loved it. We sold it out. It was cool, get to. I thought people who actually trained would have showed up, but a lot of people was like a lot of new guys. A couple guys even showed up with no gloves and was doing the class. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That is cool. Where in Jersey did you do it?
Driven Gym. What is it called, bro? Yeah. Fords. Yeah, Fords, New Jersey.
Cool. Can you see yourself like getting real into this, being a teacher, and maybe starting people the wimps to warrior type thing?
We'll see what happens, man. Never say never, Never say never. So, I mean, I always said when I'm done with the sport, I want to be done with the sport, be away from the sport. But, when I'm, like, helping out some of my teammates coming up or doing this, it's just fun to see someone putting it together, like, it just clicking in their mind. Like, you can see them struggle, and then all of a sudden that light switch just clicks, and it's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Do you think when you're done with the sport and you want to be done with the sport, are you going to just enjoy your retirement, go off, surf, do all this fun stuff, or do you want to go into like a new profession? You want to go into video games? You want to go into something else?
I think I still have my toes in video games for sure, but I know my wife would love to do surf. She always tells me about the surf trips, the strike trips when like waves is happening, you gotta be like on the go when we go. So I want to try one of that. She always tells me like some of the places you gotta rough it and do all this and do that. So it sounds fun. So I always want to do that, but I need to get my surfing skills up to par because she's right there. She just keep telling me how horrible I am. So I just need to get there.
I see any interest. You say you like kind of that moment with the in the seminar where it clicks. Any interest in coaching it all after, you think, or no?
We see, man. We see. Never say never. I mean, as of right now, like I always say when I'm done fighting, I want to be done fighting. Just move away from the sport and just be like I did what I had to do and move on. But then, especially when some of my training partners I trade with, then, bro, it could be like some guys get it like in a day and that's cool, and some guys get it a month later. I'm like, bro, I've been trying to do this. But when you see it click, it's one of the coolest things ever. Like, oh, this guy's just finally putting it together. So, I mean, never say never, man. I right now I'd tell you guys, I don't ever want to coach, and then I'll be back on here like 10 years later coaching someone. Who knows,
So do you, when you're like off training camp, do you watch fights a lot?
No, bro. I don't even watch too much fights, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like I do it so much, It's like, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Like, you guys do the podcast. Do you guys watch other podcasts all the time?
No, I've stopped watching more. I mean, there's a few that I watch, but
not MMA podcasts specifically.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, different podcasts.
I watch interviews and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I watch interviews, but not like to like break it down stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I think. Like, I watch fighting. I train. I do so much fighting. Like, my life revolves around fighting. That I kind of just come and play video games, or even like guys who like that do regular like construction jobs and stuff. I tell them, oh, do you watch construction all the time? I do. Like, brother, like I don't want like I can understand like it's entertaining. Fights entertaining. I have certain fighters, and friends that I like that maybe I watch, but that's about it. I try not to get like too involved in it.
It's because I think when I asked the question line, I think it varies so much. Like there's guys like you, a few guys like you that say they don't watch it all, and then some guys are like, I don't miss a card.
Yeah.
They watch other promotions too. They watch everything. So I know it varies a ton. I feel like
some guys are just dedicated, man. It's crazy.
Have you had any thoughts of going up to 155?
Oh, for sure. It's right there. I think so. There's a lot of fun fights for me there. A lot of fun fights. The BMF belt just came out, and I mean, me and Poirier got history.
Yep.
Me and Gaethje, I love that guy. I love Poirier too. But me and Gaethje, everybody wants to see that fight. I have no idea. I get harassed on Twitter daily. Gaethje, fight Gaethje, and then me and Charles got history. You know what I mean? And then even with the Islam fight, like we're connecting in a way because we was actually in Brooklyn when I was supposed to do the fight with Khabib and never went through. So. There's
Chandler
a lot of
was just in here. It'd be a fun fight for you.
What was the big announcement I saw? I saw on top of stuff. Did they announce who he's fighting or something?
Chandler?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna fight Connor, but
you think
they
so?
didn't announce it.
Yeah. Have you talk about a lot of interesting fights? Could you potentially see you staying at 145 if Aljamain comes up?
We see what happens. You know, we see
Yeah.
what happens. I mean,
That'd be how do you think you guys would match up?
I'd love to fight him. You know, he's one of the best guys in the world right now.
New York's
he's doing,
finest. Yeah.
He's doing his thing at 35, and he's a big 35er. So we see what happens, you know. But like, if I was to ever go up to 55 again, I always told my coaches that like once I get there, I'm not coming back down.
Okay.
You know? So it's one of those decisions. If the BMF belt pops up or if some big fight at 55 pops up, once we go there, I'm
You're there.
I'm staying there. I'm
Okay.
not coming back down.
Yeah, no,
Is
that makes sense.
145 like a real struggle to get to at this point, or no?
No, bro. It's actually been easier, you know. My wife, I mean, my manager there just you know validated her existence in my life is like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Which he should have not did that, bro. He screwed up. He screwed up, you know. I can see my wife's head growing a little bit right now. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just. It's been easier, bro. It's been great, you know. It's been a cut, you know what I mean? It's like it's not enjoyable. I still gotta give up some of the fun stuff, but it's a cut. But it's not like when people see me, oh my god, it looks like he had a bad cut. I'm like, bro, I'm 6 feet, fighting 145 pounds. What do you think I'm gonna look like?
Yeah.
You know, like that's
crazy.
That's just what
Yeah.
it is.
So is that like the driving factor towards 155 is not having to do that cut, or is it just the fun fights?
It's fighting the best, bro. It's just fighting the best. I think if you look at 45, you know, we see what happens when it comes to July, but you know, I fought most of the guys in the top 5 already, you know, and then those guys at 55 is fun, and there's a lot of just hype around the 55 division period right now, so we see what happens, you know. I just we see what happens. We see. I told Tim I wanted to fight 2 more times this year, you know, at least 1 more time for sure, so we'll go from there. There's a big fight in the weight class in July, and then we figure it out.
So I was gonna say, are you kind of just waiting for your next move on some of those fights to happen?
For sure, yeah, for sure. You just see what happens. You see the way it moves. You see what way. Ultimately, it's just what way UFC want to go in the direction. You know, if a lot of people keep telling me, oh, you know, the Fort fight with Alex is never gonna happen. I'm like, I'm pretty sure UFC would have told me that and would have forced my hand to go up to 55 much sooner. But they was okay when we told them, like, look, I'm gonna try and do. You guys throw whoever I need to try and get this fight, and they said, yeah, we see what happens. So,
Do you think Yair could beat Volk?
I think so. You know, I think Volk can hold on to the title. You know,
Yeah.
I think anybody can win anything, but I got to spend time with both of them in the octagon.
Of course.
And Yair's a tricky guy, bro. He's just a super weird dude to fight, bro.
Yeah,
how
all right.
explosive and how flexible he is, and you know, one of the kicks that he landed, we was literally so close. I didn't know he could throw a high kick that high, that fast. So
Yeah.
it's an amazing fight, man.
Is he the weirdest guy you think you fought? In terms of just not being able to properly game plan, or just because, as you said, the flexibility?
I would say the weirdest guy that I had to get ready for a fight was Will Chope.
Oh, okay.
Was that one I fought?
I haven't heard that name in a little
Yeah,
bit.
he's like 6'4", 6'5", whatever, 145. That guy's so long. Some of the things that he was throwing, I was like, it looked like a whip. Like, I saw it coming, and then it hit me. I was like, what is going on? You know, that off-speed stuff. So, I think so Will Chope he's just a weird body, bro. Like, you can't get ready. Like, usually if you're training with someone that's 6'5", 6'6", whatever Will is, they're like 170 pounds and up, you know, at least.
Yeah.
You know, like, to have somebody that tall at 45, I was tripping out even that. I don't even know how you make the weight. I was like, bro, I'm 6 feet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 6'4"?
Yeah, what's going on? So, I think that had to be the weirdest fight for sure.
Yeah, no.
Did you watch the Alex versus Islam fight?
I did not. You
haven't even seen
I
it?
got to see some of the highlights after the fight, like when they said that, when everybody was saying, like, a lot of people thought Alex won.
Yeah.
And I could see, you know, I didn't watch the full fight, but I could see what they was talking about. You know, Alex went out there and did his thing. And it's what Khabib said, bro. Khabib was, like, trying to warn Islam forever. Like, bro, this guy's going to be a tough fight, you know. And Alex is a hard guy to get ready, too, you know. He's so short. He's built like the Thing, bro.
Yeah.
Long arms, you
That's
know.
what I was gonna ask. Like, how almost is it like what advantage would you say it has almost being shorter? Like, in, like what ways does that you think help him?
Bro, a
Just
lot.
like angles and or
It's like me getting training partners that size, you know, like guys that size is usually like 35ers or 25ers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then Alex is like, he's one of those guys that's short, but then he's not only short, he has like 3-inch longer reach than me, which is weird, you know, like
Super
and
weird.
he knows how to use his reach, so it was just Alex is a weird guy too, so it's going with him and Yair fighting is two odd guys going at it, bro. I think it's gonna be a fun fight for the fans.
By the third time you fight him, when you're going into that fight and game planning, is it kind of like you know exactly what to expect, or you still preparing for different stuff?
I mean, you kind of know what's gonna go on in there, but you gotta think. You gotta in the back of your mind, you gotta be like, this guy's gotta show something different. You know, that's why they're the best guys in the world. You know,
Yeah.
one of the best teams in the world. You know, you can't be going out there doing the same thing, showing the same hand every time. You know, you gotta have something up your sleeve. So, we're thinking like, oh yeah, we know we can count on certain things, but you gotta be thinking like, man, this guy's gonna show something new that we didn't see, and we gotta be ready for it.
Yeah.
So obviously, then you're also doing the same thing. Like you're thinking, I'm going to show them something different.
100%. You know, MMA is a growing sport, bro. It's a growing sport, and you're either in the middle of the pack or you're trying to lead the pack. And you know, I always told myself, as long as I'm leading the pack, I'm gonna be in the sport. But once I start falling into that mid pack of the sport, it's like, you know, it's time to be like, nah, let's move on, do something else.
So you're definitely leading the pack still. Was that coming up? How any injuries or anything coming off the Allen fight at all, or?
We see what happens, man. We see what happens. You know, the best thing I said after the fight, the press conference. You guys saw me call out Zombie.
Yep.
He replied pretty fast with a funny little video. So, you know, the ball is in UFC's court. So we go from there. You know, I can't wait. You know, if that's the fight, that's the fight. I got to fight almost everyone from the era. You know, excluding Mendez, but he's not here. And with that being said, with Korean still being there, top 10 fighter, I think he's like 7 in the world. Why not do this fight? You know what I mean? Like, why not do that? And I get to fight one of the guys that I used to actually watch coming up, so that would be cool.
Would you go out there? Because I know originally I think he was booked for, what was that, February? He was going to go to in Korea. And would you go out there and fight him there?
We see what happens, yeah. Wherever, bro. Wherever it may be. If that's the fight, if that's the fight that UFC want, I know the fans want it. We'll go whatever, you know. We'll go wherever to fight them, and we'll have fun, man. I think so. It'd be a fun fight for sure.
Is fighting in like a new location that you've never fought in, is that a draw for you, or do you not really get to enjoy the city because it's fight week?
I mean, back in the day, well, it was tough because like we was coming up, we didn't have money, but now we can extend the trip a little better and enjoy after, because, you know, fight week, everybody's like, oh, you get to travel so far and do all this and do that. I'm like, bro, like, it's like I'm making weight, I can't eat.
So much
You
media
know what I mean?
obligation.
We gotta do media. So
Press
at the end of the day,
conference.
like if I had my way, I would just fight in Vegas all the time, no taxes or whatever, this and that. And it is technically the ninth island, a bunch of Hawaiians. Every time I go out there, the Hawaiians come out, you know. So it's crazy. But at the end of the day, it's like now it's like wherever we fight, we kind of try to extend the trip a little bit to enjoy whatever place it is, you know. Except for like this last one in Kansas, you can't really enjoy too much stuff, but it was all right.
Did you think Kansas City was kind of boring?
Kansas City is cooler than I thought, bro.
Okay.
It was way
You get barbecue?
Yeah, we had
That's
barbecue.
what I was going to ask after.
Barbecue is good. Barbecue is good after, and then that, you know, people is cool, but, you know, it's still Kansas City, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know? Like,
When those scorecards were being read, were you thinking in your mind, like, what the fuck?
yeah, I knew, in my mind, I knew it was a competitive fight. I know it was a close fight, but I knew I did enough. Like, I was
Yeah,
doing,
I think
I was doing enough, you know what I mean? And then when I was hearing that, I was like, whatever, but, you know, these judges is crazy. I mean, you guys, I know you watch fights all the time, Robbie. That Kai one was just insane.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
crazy.
Yeah, like these judges is these judges they mess with our money, bro. A lot of these guys is like contracts and stuff is like they depend on this win loss, like, you know, like the show money and then the win money, and like, and when you get it wrong that side, it sucks, man.
Do you think there's a proper solution?
Brother, I don't know, bro. I don't know if there's a proper solution or anything. I mean, maybe put guys who fought MMA or whatever, but you're always gonna have a problem, bro, with judging, because no matter what it is, somebody is gonna be looking through their eyes and looking for what they think is winning the fight. You know what I mean? So like, if I'm a wrestler-based guy, and you take a guy down like 5 times in a fight, but you do nothing, like you can't even hold him down, but you took him down 5 times, you get up, and the striker guy is like beating you up on top of the feet. Most guys, if you're a wrestler-based guy, would probably be like, okay, this wrestler guy is winning. But then I'm a striker. I'd be like, no way, this striker's not even getting hold down. You're getting up, and he's lining you up on the feet. What's going on? You know, so it's like, it's a hard thing, you know. But even with, like, I did open scoring. I went to one of the open scoring Invictas a long time ago, and I understand there's different variables that goes into it. But I like the way it is. But I can see why, you know, people get scared of it, because people will coast. You know, there's some fighters that will coast if they're ahead, and then you don't know how, like with the open scoring being with fans like fans booing when they see the open scoring, and then judges like they don't even watch the next
True.
round. They just try to give it to somebody else because of just people pressuring them, like the sell in the crowd. So there's a lot of things that goes into it that people don't think about. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of pros and cons. I don't think so. It's one easy fix. I think so. One of the steps is like try to get away from that 10-9 scoring system, the boxing stuff. I mean, boxing is boxing. You can judge that pretty easy, and you can pretty much see when like, oh my gosh, this is like clear as day. MMA where it's a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, it's like the knockdown 10-8 kind of automatically in boxing. They don't really have that same. Obviously, you kind of the second fight. I think a lot of people felt that you dealt with that. How hard is that to like kind of just put it past you, like especially with the belt in the line?
Yeah, I mean it's tough, bro. It's tough, but at the end of the day, you just gotta you don't cry over spilled milk. You know what I mean? Like what I'm gonna do? Just cry about it. Just go on Twitter rant and Instagram and just start being like, bro, if this, if that, what's it gonna do? It's just gonna make me look like a poor sport. Crybaby, you know what I mean? We in the industry of of getting sponsors and getting partnerships and big stuff. And if I was like a big company and I saw a crybaby, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to work with this guy. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's just something that I have no control over. You know what I mean? Like everybody can say that I won and this and that, but it's cool to hear. You know what I mean? But it's like at the end of the day, it's like, but I didn't. In the history books. He won, and you got to move on. Like if you want to be the best, you can't be crying and soaking forever. Like took one day, I read it, and I was like, whatever, bro. We got the next one, and we'll fight again. That was my mindset. Like, bro, I'm gonna go see you again, and then we go from there.
Yeah, I'm saying you definitely had a lot of people on Twitter fighting that fight for you, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. So I don't have to talk about it too much, and I don't pay it no issue. I just gotta worry about doing me and worry about the next one and just keep on trying to break records.
We got to spend some time with Anthony Pettis not too long ago, and
oh, nice.
I asked him, "Are you used to fighting? Like, are you used to fight week, the feeling of it?" And he said, "No." He's like, "I'll never get used to it. It's something that you just go through every time." Do you feel the same way?
Oh, for sure. I think so. I mean, you can get used to the ways of what's gonna happen, what you gotta go through the motions, anything, but. I think so. Anybody that tell you that they're like ready with it, like emotionally wise, it's they're probably lying. Like even with fights, you know what I mean? Like when guys be like, they get nervous to fights. Like if somebody ever told you they don't get nervous, then they didn't train or
Johnny Evelyn told us that.
Like I trip out when somebody like you gotta be an alien, bro.
Yeah.
Like fighting is crazy, bro. You're going out there in front of like hundreds of thousands, millions of people, and you telling me you're not nervous, and it's not even nervous. Like I get nervous for fights, but it's not even like a scared nervous. It's just a nervous of like that body system. Like it's go time, like you're getting yourself ready and being like, it's about to go down. I'm about to show the sacrifice and everything that I did to my friends, my family, my loved ones. Show them why I couldn't go to that party. Show them why I missed this holiday. So at the end of the day, like people say they don't get nervous. I just think so. Then they didn't prepare the right way. Like they're okay. You know what I mean? Like they're okay with like okay, this is just gonna lose. Like I'm okay in a different way. Like I'm okay. Like I'm gonna go show them out. Like win, lose or draw. This is the best version of me, and that's what's gonna happen.
Are there any fights that stick out to you that you were more nervous for than others? Like any specific that?
I mean every fight, bro. Every fight I think so is pretty much equal. I go through this. I go through this thing in my mind all the time before a fight. Like when you find out, like, especially with main eventing or whatever, like when you're on the main card, you pretty much know when you're going to walk out. They come tell you, like, oh, yeah, 15 minutes, get ready, 10 minutes. And whenever that part's happen, like, oh, the 15 minutes, you're on deck, get ready. Like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going through my mind, like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I here again? I told myself last time I was done doing this, you know what I mean? And I started thinking, like, shit, I should just get a regular job, like at McDonald's or something. That shit sounds more fun, And then I think to myself, yeah, but McDonald's don't pay this much. You want to live a certain lifestyle, you got to get out there and do it. It's that fight with yourself before the actual fight, and then by the time we get out there, we're ready. They put us in our spot to make that walk. I'm already there. I'm like, once I hear my song, the smile comes on, and now it's just time to go and legally punch someone in the head without getting in trouble.
So set some records.
So it's funny to like hear you. I've heard other fights. I remember like Poirier said it when he fought McGregor the second time, and they put on these great performances. I think it's so funny to like hear guys like you say that, because then all of a sudden like he was like that. I obviously see it with you every time. You're having fun in the cage.
Yeah, 100%. You get to let go all that all that violence that you've been holding out in stuff, because like I know some guys train hard and they're crazy and like they spar hard with the partners. Like I'm over that time in my life of sparring hard with my training partners and stuff. So now like we get all that. I hold all that, you know, that bad energy or whatever, and that one like, okay, yeah, you don't really feel. I don't want to hurt the guy, but I'm in there. He's trying to hurt me, so I'm trying to protect myself, and I don't want to seriously hurt someone, but. You hold on to that rage and anger for the fight, and you know it's like a good rage and anger. It's not this bad, like, oh, I'm gonna go out there and kill you. It's just like I can't hit my friend this hard without feeling bad. So I'm gonna use it on you, you know.
I would say you've probably been known as probably one of the more durable guys, probably in the history of the UFC. What would you say you credit that to the most, having like this like insane chin?
Brother, I don't know, bro. Being Hawaiian, being Samoan, being my wife like to say chemically imbalanced, probably. But you know,
I wish we had a camera on her face. She's just like, what?
I really don't know, bro. I couldn't tell you. You know, it's like a lot of the things. You know, when you watch my game and stuff, like even though I look like I'm getting hit hard, like I put myself in situations where I know, like even if you land a punch, then it's not. It's just like to the naked eye, it looks like, oh, this is a huge punch. But then I'm positioning myself in a way where I'm kind of like rolling with the punch. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are like, oh, that's a big shot. Like, you know, like I love Joe, but like with Joe always being like, oh my God, he's rocked. I'm like, after watching the fight, I'm like, brother Joe, like, come on, you caught like 1 million of these already. Like, come on. But that's his job. So
you get excited.
Yeah.
Do you have one accomplishment or record in the UFC that you're proudest of?
I mean, right now it's pretty cool of not getting knocked down. You know, with like 20 plus fights, whatever, not being knocked down is pretty cool. I mean, doubling the closest guy with being landing the most strikes is pretty cool. Like strikes landed is awesome, but it just comes with, you know, with different things. Like I love those things, but then the media is like crazy. Oh my God, he got like hit so much time absorbs and he blah blah, something's happening. Or my favorite one of all time is like I land so much punches, so like people call me like Pillow Hands Holloway. So that's pretty cool.
Oh damn! No, that's.
But I'm like, brother, like
that's volume Holloway.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, brother, come on. Like I just laugh. Like that's cool. I'll pillow punch someone every day. I tell somebody all the time. I'm like, bro, there's no greater feeling. Like knocking someone out. Don't get me wrong, is great. You know, it's huge. But you took their soul. They couldn't decide it. Like it just happened. You know. But beating someone to the point where they're stood awake and they're on that edge of like being like, I'm gonna quit. No, I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna quit. I'm not gonna quit. And then they quit. It's like it's one of the best feelings in the world, bro. Just knowing that someone like, bro, I made this grown man quit. You know what I mean? In there, so
more decisive too. Like people refer to that one punch, like the one hitter quitter, as they could say fluky or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing fluky about just like breaking someone down like piece by piece.
Exactly.
Is there a moment you are fond of or remember the most in terms of? I mean, obviously, one of the best moments I think of UFC history is when Poirier walked out into the middle of the cage, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, you're going out there," and you got off the seat. You were like, "Oh no, you're not gonna do that to me." Yeah. You were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's my mind. That's my mind. So like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
you think I'm gonna just sit down and watch you?
Yeah, no. I remember you looked. Oh, like you were like, "No, I'm not." And then you.
I was like, "Come on, bro." You know, like, "Come on, bro." But like. I mean, we had that moment, you know what I mean? I had that moment with Poirier. I had the moment with Ricardo. I had the moment with Cater.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I had that.
The moment with Ricardo was like influential. Like fighters will do that.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes.
They put me in the UFC game too of it, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I had the moment where like people don't really talk about it. Is like with like, one of my favorite moments was with Jose in Rio. And he catch me something, and I put my hands in the air, but like I was taunting him, you know. So that was a cool moment, cause like, bro, like no one knows how much like I idolized Jose, bro. He was the man, bro. He was the guy that like, in MMA you gotta be a wrestler, you gotta be a jiu-jitsu guy. No striker is gonna be champs. They can't be reigning champs, blah blah. And he was the dude being like, no, like this guy was knocking out jiu-jitsu guys, knocking out strikers. So killing wrestlers, you know. So he was the man in every way. So that moment to me was special, especially because it was in Rio, fighting the King of Rio, doing that, and it was just insane, bro. That whole fight was insane. I remember I remember after the fight, I was in a zone, bro. Like, I was just in a zone once we walked. Like, like, everything was quiet.
Wow.
And like that, like the whole fight, everything was quiet. I could hear my coaches, whatever. Wow. And I remember telling my coaches in the back, I was like, oh damn, like I didn't think like when they, what is it, Dama Vuba Hell, whatever, you would die.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Their chant. I was telling them, like, I heard the chant, but it wasn't like loud. To me, it wasn't loud. And I told my coaches, like, man, I thought they would be louder. Like, everybody went like, it's so crazy to fight in Brazil, blah blah blah. And then my coaches look at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I couldn't even hear myself yelling in there. And I could hear them perfectly clear. So I was like, bro, that's insane.
It's like the end of a fight movie where everything focuses in.
I was just in a mode, bro, that fight. So it was, that was crazy. Like, that kind of hit me hard when they said, like, I don't know what you talking about. I couldn't even hear, my coach Ryland was like, I couldn't even hear Michael yelling next to me. I was like, whoa, that's insane. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
How different is the psyche, like, having, I was supposed to say, like, for a guy your career at that time or earlier who was just like a guy your age, as opposed to fighting like literally your idol?
Yeah, I mean, I had to. I talk about this all the time. I had to put everything on that first fight, my UFC debut, when I fought Dustin Poirier for the first time, because that fight week, like, who's who was there. That was a big fight week. I think so. The card was Carlos and Nick was fighting for the interim 170 belt, right? So George St. Pierre was there fight week. Anderson Silva was there. I got to see Frankie. I think I ran into Aldo that one. I might be missing the weeks, but I saw who's who. Like, I saw these guys that I just see on TV. And it's like my first time to the mainland too, flying. Not first time. Like, maybe like third time, because I did a couple, like, I went to Iowa or whatever, but like first time to Vegas or whatever. So it was like seeing everything, seeing the Vegas lights, seeing the stars was crazy. And then I remember going out there fighting. Dustin Poirier freaking triangle arm bars me, like, I become like a fucking moment for him forever, you know what I mean? In every of his freaking stuff, it's show me getting freaking triangle arm barred, one of those moments. And then I remember sitting in the back after the fight and just telling myself, like, what are you doing? Like you're a UFC fighter. Act like it. Stop fangirling over these guys. So after that first fight, like, my whole mindset changed, bro. Like, I go fight week. I tell people, I should get you be nice, but I ain't taking pictures. I ain't there to do nothing. Like, I'm one of these guys. Like, I had to tell myself I'm one of these guys. And I'm glad I had that moment at my first UFC fight, because if I didn't, and then that moment came against Aldo, brother, the fight would have went a whole different way, I think.
Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, you wouldn't be ready for it. Well, we appreciate you coming through Barstool HQ. You're always welcome when you're in New York.
Thank you, brother.
And we'll catch you hopefully soon in the cage.
Hopefully.
Can't wait.
Thank you, brother.
Can't wait.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.